Good everyone. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to talk about AI for business, the artificial intelligence for business. What does it even mean, right? Because these days, if you look at the terminologies that have been, used by different people, even the street vendors would tell you, "Oh, have you used ChatGPT? Have you used this? Have you used that?" Right? And you might think, right, if you're an AI engineer or if you're an AI researcher, do these people really understand what AI is all about? But the one good thing is that AI has been promoted very heavily, and there's a reason for it because AI can do a lot of things which you don't really have to worry about it, right? So, but when it comes to business, right? Uh, what is artificial intelligence is all about, how does it can improve your business, how does it impact from a Salesforce perspective, right? So that's in a nutshell I wanted to look at it. So now artificial intelligence means different to different people. For some people, like I said, like it means, all right, I don't have to worry about anything, I can hire. I'm talking from a mindset perspective, right? The kind of uh, impression what people have. Oh yeah, artificial intelligence. I don't have to hire developers anymore. I can use AI to code. Yeah, but not really. We don't have such tech as such, right? And I don't think developers will be 100% replaced. Yes, there are certain elements which will get replaced. A lot of tedious, minimalistic task will be outsourced to artificial intelligence because they can do those tasks pretty well. For instance, if you take an example in an automobile industry, right, you don't really need to use humans in a lot of things. You can have um, robots which can assemble parts, right, and humans can usually work on a high-end design. So I'm not saying that AI will replace humans. I'm saying there's certain element of manual tasks which will be automated with the help of artificial intelligence, and business will consider going that route because it saves them money and it can help boost their productivity and yeah, and help them make more sales. So that's some perception user business do have, and but is and some people even think, oh, AI is like a doomsday, what you see in Terminator. That's and some people even have an impression that, oh, they're gonna kill all of us. We have nowhere to run. We have nowhere to hide. This planet will be controlled by machines. So these are sci-fi, science fiction, fantasies. They don't have any where. I mean, they don't have any association with the reality, right? So what I wanted to talk about, what is it we can do with AI to help the business, right? Let me take a very simple example. You are a company, say you sell beers, right? You're a brewing industry and you use Salesforce. Now, there are lots of pubs who subscribe to your brewery, means they buy beer from you, like in a form of a big uh, box, maybe, which contains, let's say, 1,000 beers in a month. And some customers are small scale, so they probably stick to 500. So based on your current and previous sale, if you wanted to find out whether any of the customer will decide to move to your competitor, then you can use artificial intelligence to use that prediction. So prediction analysis is one of the aspects which AI shine and which can be very useful when it comes to business. So let me type it right. I would say prediction, right? So prediction is one thing, and right, and also AIs can be highly used in building workflows. Now you must be thinking, what does it has to do with the workflow, right? So let me give you an example, right, based on this prediction one. Let me expand this a bit. Let's say you have a customer. Let's say you have three customers, who buys beers from you, but you have kind of noticed they're not buying, the similar quantities like they used to do in the previous years. So AI kind of flagged them as a customer who might consider going elsewhere based on their buying pattern. So you can build something called a workflow, which can trigger a kind of a marketing campaign to give them, a promotion campaign to give them, discounts so that you can retain those customers. So this is how you can tie the workflow uh, with the prediction model. And yeah, so and another thing which is very useful is the recommender system, which is very commonly used. Amazon uses it. So the recommender system is like, let's say, for instance, you are an e-commerce business, right? Let me write it down. This recommendation system. Uh, like I said, this is a very basic overview course to help you understand what artificial intelligence is all about, the kind of discussion you can have with your stakeholders. It's not about getting your hands dirty or doing a deep tech dive. That's not this course is about, I'm afraid. Uh, this is a great opportunity, for you to even have the conversation with your stakeholder, because since AI is everywhere. I mean, it's a magical word that's been spread around. Some of them don't understand the meaning of it. Some of them, spread around the way they want. So there's a lot of confusions going around. So that's one of the reasons why, Salesforce perhaps would have thought, okay, let's. The Salesforce has two motives, right? First to make money. Some of the certs from Salesforce are not worth it, like JavaScript. That's total garbage. Omni Consultant, absolutely rubbish. And user interface, that's okay. I mean, I used to think it's not so great, but I think it's okay if you wanted to understand from that perspective. But some of the certifications from Salesforce is absolutely garbage. So I will not even recommend going that route. But this is a pretty good one in my opinion, and I highly encourage if you really wanted to understand, uh, you know, artificial intelligence from a Salesforce perspective, this certification is of high importance, right? Though it's a basic one, you can take whoever you are, a business consultant, developer, architect, it doesn't matter. Okay, sorry I digress, my apologies. So I was talking about the recommender system, right? Recommender system is right. It recommends you based on your buying personality. So buying persona, I would say. So for instance, right, you build an e-commerce site, right? Your e-commerce site sells, say, alcohol. I talk about beers because I'm a big beer fan. I brew beers, um, so, so let's say, I started an e-commerce site, right? And I sell pilsners, porters, stouts, hazy IPA, India Pale Ale. So these are the products I sell. And let's say, um, if I wanted to build a recommender system, right? And let's say a customer is a fan of, uh, not so fan of lager style or pilsner style beer. They often buy, let's say, stout. And so I could also recommend based on their recommendation, sorry, based on the buying persona, I can say, okay, we also got porter beer, right? Because stout and porter are two different styles of beer, usually not preferred by everyone in the world. Like, that's a different conversation. I will get into that in detail some other day, because otherwise, I'll digress again. So stout they wanted to buy, and they want to recommend. So your system will recommend them, hey, you can also consider buying porter, right? So that's a kind of recommendation system, you can say. Or if someone wants to buy pilsner, you can say, you can perhaps consider buying a lager beer, right? Or yeah, or if someone likes to buy, say, ale, you can say, hey, perhaps you can buy IPA, rather than suggesting them to say, hey, buy porter. Because if you are someone who's a lager fan, you may or may not prefer, stout or porter. It's not everyone's choice of beer, right? It's very famous in the UK, but if you go to mainland Europe, especially in Eastern Europe, where I spent a lot of my time a couple of months ago, a month ago, right? I spent like 2 months there. Um, so people prefer Pilsner there more, or lager. The black beer is, or what they call black beer. Another beer, Europeans call it as a blonde beer. Don't get into any of the political correctnesses. I told you what terminology has been used there. So it's very the pilsners and lagers are most commonly used. So if I wanted to build a recommender system, right, let's say to someone from, say, Romania, or someone from Serbia, or someone from Germany, I would probably recommend, my site should say, customer persona, pilsner, mostly European pilsner, and lager, right? Because European Pilsner style of beer is a little bit different com- uh, compared to what you get in United States, the American kind of beer. Um, so that's one of the way the application can be worked, and this is one of the AI can be used in business, right, to help your customer can choose the product they wanted to buy. I also recommend it, right? Netflix use it, right? So it's a recommender system. It's very easy to build if you understand the algorithms that goes behind the scene. I'm not going to get into that. So these are like weather pattern is predicting the weather. It's another application. If you're a company who works on a prediction model for the weather, right? You can use the artificial intelligence. It will help you do that very well. So these are the one of the most common use cases. I haven't mentioned everything, right? You can also talk about natural language processing if you wanted to build, say, a translator, right? You can use that. You can use artificial intelligence there. Um, so, um, so if you wanted to explain to a stakeholder, so you can explain that these are the applications which you can probably consider building it with the help of artificial intelligence. These are the problems to try to solve. Yeah. So I don't want it to beat around the bush much, but in a sense, you know, this is what it is about when it comes to AI for business, in a very nutshell. So that being said, I hope you guys have an amazing Saturday. Adios.